The River Dibble is located in North Yorkshire, and like many rivers, it has a bridge which runs over it. Dibble's Bridge, as it is known, carries the B6265 between Pateley Bridge and Thresfield. Local folklore says that this bridge was built by the devil himself, after shoemaker Ralph Calvert offered him a drink. Many people see this as simple folklore, however others aren't so sure. This bridge may look like a shot from a calendar, or a postcard, or someone's computer background, but it has a very dark history. A history which I shall explore today. Welcome to Disasters on British Roads, the Dibble's Bridge coach crash. On the 10th of June 1925, a coach was carrying members of the York Municipal Employees Guild and their families to Bolton Hall. A witness said that the vehicle was stopped and a brick was placed underneath the coach's wheel. The driver then got out to do something underneath the vehicle. A passenger from the coach stated that the driver said the brake has burnt out and proceeded to hit it a couple of times with a hammer before exclaiming, "It's alright now." The vehicle then continued on its way, but later suffered brake failure. It picked up a considerable amount of speed whilst travelling down the descent which leads to the bridge. Just before the bridge, however, is an extremely tight bend. Due to its speed, the bus failed to take this bend and ended up crashing through the bridge and landing below on its roof. 5 of the passengers were killed instantly, whilst the 2 others later died from their injuries. An engineer who examined the wreckage stated the primary cause of the accident were the burnt-out front brakes and the large amount of oil on the rear brakes. However, the tragedies of Dibble's Bridge do not end there. Almost exactly 50 years later, another accident occurred. On the 27th of May 1975, a 1967 Bedford VAM-5 run by Riley's Coaches was transporting 45 elderly female passengers on a day trip from Thornaby to Grassington. The trip was organised by Dorothy White. Dorothy had ran many of her Auntie Dorrie's mystery trips over the last 30 years, and this trip was just expected to be another lovely spring outing. However, this all changed whilst the coach was travelling down the B6265. The driver of the coach, British Steel Corporation security officer Roger Marriott, missed a gear. Next, he applied the brakes which had been serviced a week before, being given new linings. However, these brakes failed as the coach travelled down the same descent which doomed the other bus 50 years earlier. Also in parallel to the 1925 accident, the coach failed to take the sharp bend and ended up crashing through the bridge and landing on its fiberglass roof. The coach's aluminium body caved, crushing the passengers inside. There were a couple of witnesses to this accident, one of which was barrister from London, Lincoln Seligman. Seligman was having a barbecue with his partner in the garden in which the coach crashed. He helped drag some passengers from the wreckage, however many were trapped inside. Furthermore, 3 teenagers from Hull, who were camping nearby, arrived 2 minutes later to complete silence. Later on, a single ambulance arrived on the scene, however this was not enough. The rescue operations involved over 100 paramedics, doctors, nurses, firefighters and police officers, and it took 2.5 hours, with one of the ambulance drivers describing it as the worst thing that he's ever seen. The inquest ruled that the deaths were accidental, caused by brake failure, due to the poor maintenance of the brakes. The man who ran the coach, Norman Riley, was fined £75 for using a vehicle with a defective braking system. However, although this was a massive tragedy, there was one bit of technology that could have saved the coach: an electromagnetic retarder. An electromagnetic retarder generates energy from the rotation of the axle and helps to keep the friction brakes cool, leading to less brake failure. It also helps to maintain a steady speed, especially when going downhill. 2 weeks after the accident, the Yorkshire Post staged an experiment. They parked a coach fitted with an electromagnetic retarder at the top of the hill before Dibble's Bridge and allowed it to roll down out of gear. The retarder meant that the vehicle stayed at a safe speed and it was able to make the turn. The Dibble's Bridge coach crash led to legislations being passed which required better braking systems. 32 women and 1 man died in this crash, making it Britain's worst road accident. The names of the deceased are, excuse my pronunciation if incorrect, Betty Aitchison, Henrietta Kirk, Margaret Baldwin, Jenny Lowe, Lillian Barclay, Roger Marriott, Rosalind Brown, Kathleen Maud, Jenny Butler, Margaret Mennell, Gladys Callingham, Elsie Middleton, Mabel Chisholm, Henrietta Pedley, Ada Criston, Eva Pratt, Gwen Dodsworth, Harriet Riley, Ida Fisher, Eileen Ross, Hannah Forth, Jean Smart, Hilda Gibbon, Eva Thomas, Irene Groskop, Dorothy White, Grace Harrison, Frida Wilkinson, Edna Heron, Edith Woodhouse, Elizabeth Hill, Sylvia Warren, and Doris Housden. Also, 13 women were injured. Many believe that this bridge has some sort of curse, not only due to the folklore surrounding it, but also due to the massive amount of people who have died here. You see, the 1975 accident was the most fatal, but it was not the last. In 2015, a 41-year-old doctor called George Ballard was killed when he was thrown off his bike. This occurred just a year after another cyclist, James Nelson, was killed after he crashed his bike due to brake failure. However, this is not the end of it, because there was a death as recent as 2020. 66-year-old Colorado-born Craig Barnhart was riding his electric bike when his brakes failed and he lost control on the steep descent just before the bridge. Despite a number of attempts to make the bridge safer, many locals complain that it is still a death trap. At the time of filming, we are coming up to the 50th anniversary of the 1975 accident. I do very much hope that we have seen the last of fatal accidents on this stretch of road, and if you are planning to drive along the B6265, please do pay attention, and be aware of the large inclines and declines, especially coming up to the bridge. Also, keep your brakes serviced and in good condition just in case. Anyway, that is it from me today. If you did enjoy this video, please do go down below, leave a like, and maybe subscribe. Thank you for watching.